Hey, Chris Lipe here with a lesson on how to sing like James LaBrie from Dream Theater. I don't exactly know why it's taken me so long to do this video. I've been listening to Dream Theater for a really long time, at least for my life. I first got into them in the 90s, primarily as a guitar player, because I love John Petrucci's guitar playing. And then I had a drummer friend who was really into Mike Portnoy, and James LaBrie was always this guy even though he's the front man, he was always kind of the background guy, partially because, for me at least, because of the way that the rest of the band was structured. But diving into James LaBrie is huge for anybody wanting to understand how to sing higher, more freely, more aggressively. And he does some things a little bit more obviously than other singers when he's singing live and even in the studio, that if we internalize, we can really make some huge headway, particularly in the area of expanding our range. If you'd like more help unpacking your own voice, click the link below and join my free vocal course. I'll help you feel out certain aspects of your voice so that you are more comfortable doing some of the things that I do in these videos to pull from other singers. I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Mark Oliver Barrel, who sent this video over. James LaBrie Still Has It, a cappella singing. And this was great to see. He's a big Dream Theater fan. And as I was getting ready to do this video, he was like, oh, you have to check out this. So we're going to look at this a cappella thing that he just sang last month on his phone, and we're going to compare it to a live performance of Pull Me Under that he did back in the 90s. Lots to unpack.
Watch a spell falling gives new meaning to it all.
Okay, so here it goes, right? And then, meaning to it all! There's this huge auditory disconnect between what he does with his speech voice and then meaning to it all. Wow, right? We have to, if we are going to improve our range, we have to learn that there are a lot of different ways to coax your voice into doing different things. He does it seamlessly, but this is encouraging and should be encouraging for a lot of vocalists. He doesn't have anything that we don't, other than an extra awareness about how his voice works.
If not today and not tomorrow, then some other day. I'll take 7 lives for one.
Okay, now you'll hear this when in his studio performances and in his live performances, lots of times he'll go, I'll use the word wow, but wow, 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 or I want. He'll siren up to a mixed voice note. This is a really good way this is a performance thing for him, but I think it's also a really good way for us to connect our resonances together and make sure we're mixing properly. If we break, I want, we're probably in head voice. But if we can carry that chesty feel and sort of pull our chest up while not trying to pull our chest sound up, we are going to be able to access mix better. And he sort of invokes a vocal exercise in the midst of a line. I want, wow, wow. See how I'm going down to my chest? Wow. I'm starting with my chest. Wonderful. Right? This is huge. Start with your chest. Push up into mix. And you've heard me talk about this before with stuff like the dying cat sort of sound that helped me unlock Cornell. At least a little bit of Cornell in my own voice.
And then my only son.
Now, he's going into, you can tell a huge difference between his mixed sound, la 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 la, and then he goes into head, la 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 la, going right back into that mix.
As sure as I did ever love him, I am not afraid.
Now here's another aspect of James LaBrie's singing style that we're going to run into over and over again, and it's very useful. He tends to slur his diction and blend vowel sounds together, downplay consonants, particularly with wordy lines and high wordy lines. As sure as I did ever love him, I am not afraid. As sure as I did, lots of consonants, lots of different vowels. As sure as I ever loved him, and I'm not afraid. I mean, there's a lot going on in that line. But you hear him sing this.
As sure as I did ever love him, I am not afraid.
As sure as I did ever love him. As opposed to, as sure as I did ever love him. Right? There's a very different approach. One is way more laid back. One much less emphasizing on the consonants and vowel changes. As sure as I did ever love him. As sure as I did ever love him. I'm exaggerating both of them. But let's have that in our ears as we continue to listen to what he does. Now let's go through some samples from Pull Me Under, Images and Words Live in Tokyo tour back in the 90s.
Lost in the sky, clouds roll by and I would them.
Okay, right away, what you don't hear him doing in the phone video from a month ago is that grit. Lost in the sky. He's going to have that bright, and this is, I've talked about this before, his tone is the worried old lady, but with an aggressive, very aggressive motive behind it. The aggressive, worried old lady. Lost in the sky. No, he's straight, but it's that vocal positioning, that tonal positioning. Lost in the sky. And then he's going to put some compression to the point of breakup over that. Lost in the sky. And I'm not afraid.
Arrows fly, seas increase and then fall again.
Seas increase. Let's get there. C. High larynx position, more compression. C. Forward placement, nasal C. And then it's like holding your breath, but only part way. Seas increase.
This world is spinning around me. This world is spinning around me.
Now listen to what he did with that vowel. Spinning, no. Spinning, this world is spinning around me. He's not saying spinning around me. He's blurring those vowels. Spinning around me. Does that a lot. It's a performance thing, but it also makes it easier to sing.
And every day since you tried to pass, every breath leaves me one less to my list.
Some of these things that he's doing, he'll go down while he's doing it. So he'll kind of go to guttural. La! Good thing I cracked there, so you can really hear what's going on. La! Where he'll go down all the way to the bottom of his range after he's hit a note. La! La! There was one note in there. This life is... Where he's really... Now, I should point out that this grit is not affecting his ability to sing cleanly. And you can hear it. This world is spinning around me. But there was one little part in there where he went, ooh. You heard it. Listen. Life is you. You heard that. Where he went into it was a very intentional crack into his head voice. There it is. Every breath. Yeah. Just going full guttural there. There's no pitch. He's got his compression, his hyper compression or extreme compression dialed in over that mixed voice. Okay, there was that scoop up, whoa, that I fail, and also that blurring of the vowels. Whoa, you heard that him do that on the phone video, right? All that I feel, all that I feel. It's not all that I feel, all that I feel. Very blurred. This, if you want to start singing higher, and you're not quite sure where to start by downplaying vowel and consonant changes. That's going to help you be free to shape your tone in a way that doesn't rely on your vowel changes, and then gradually work your way back into pronouncing more. Notice how he cleans up there as he goes a little higher. So celebrate! There's still a little bit of that compression, a little bit of that false chord squeeze going on. So celebrate! The clouds roll by and I'll roll with them. This kind of line is fun because you can hear him cleaning it up and gritting it up all within one line. Clouds roll by, clouds. Experimenting with different levels of grit, compression, push, all these different things. He's very good at, and he does it so seamlessly, even live. Probably one of the best moderators of grit and compression, who's also a clean singer at the same time that I've ever seen. Pretty high note, but it's gritty the way he does it. Fly and I'll fall again. And blurring those vowels, blurring those consonants helps him complete that line. A very forward place. List. He's actually plugging his nasal passage there. List. Getting that nice, healthy, clean note, putting his grit on top. Not a lot of singers can you hear that delineation between clean so seamlessly. There was a quintessential example of blurring his vowels and consonants. Only until it is done. The words are only until your will is done. There's a lot of different vowels in there, right? Whoa! In addition to scooping up, only until your will is done. There's not a lot of difference. We could sing it like this. Only until your will is done. And that can sound cool, but it can be a lot more difficult to place the overall resonance of your voice. And what he does is sort of go, only until your will is done. and you're able to get this overall wave of aggression and seamlessness out. I like how he enters into speech at the very end of that phrase. Pull me under, pull me under, pull me under, I'm not afraid. Varying levels of grit. Pull me under, pull me under, pull me under, I'm not afraid. Sliding down, not afraid, as if he's just speaking it to you. Living my life! Living my life! Transferring into almost that vocal break summoning. Living my life! Too much in the sun! Living my life! Too much in the sun! I think I've probably been to 4 Dream Theater concerts, and I will say that this guy has incredible vocal stamina. And it is because of something I touched on earlier. He is able to sing everything cleanly. He is relaxed, particularly in his diction. He doesn't get his neck unhealthily involved. And when he adds distortion, it is over the top of a well-developed, well-supported, clean sound. His distortion is not part of his trying to vocalize in general. He can turn it on and off, as you hear. Thank you so much for the many requests I got for James LaBrie. Be sure to leave comments below with other vocalists you'd like me to cover as well. And if you'd like more help unpacking your own voice and figuring out what it can really do, click that link below and join my free vocal course. We'll see you for more.